Janeva Tyree is a Charlotte-based modern artist who has developed storyboards, created graphic logos, and curated set designs. I talk one-on-one with Janeva about what she's working on right now for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook.
Janeva Tyree, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you for having me. Blessed to be back for a second time.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it greatly. Needless to say, you're a modern artist residing in the Queen City of Charlotte. You've developed storyboards, designed graphic logos, curated set designs, published children's illustrations, painted murals, of course, and taught workshops. Let me ask you this, Ms. Tyree. How are you actually crafting your life right now using your own art?
I love that you say that. So one of my goals, especially stepping into 2024, is to actively be a part of the community, and not only just being a part of the community through expressing art, but bringing art to the community, having them, providing experiences for the community to be a part of it. And not only for them to be a part of it, but either affordable or at free cost.
How is this particular community able to express themselves through art that they're access to?
That's an excellent question. So a couple of the initiatives that I've been working with University City partners in developing is access to the arts, specifically in the university area of Charlotte. So one of the things that we did was we had a Art in the Gardens installation. So it was really like a mental and a metaphysical kind of experience where you can come see the beautiful scenery as well as create some beautiful artwork based on your surroundings. So, very intrinsically and outrinsically healing, and again, providing access to the arts for a cheap to free cost.
Exactly. Do you create art by the surroundings that you have in Charlotte?
How do I create art by the surroundings I have in Charlotte? So one of the things that I'm working on right now are actually sculptures for the University City area, and they're going to be strategically placed to be near the new library that's being built here. So the goal is to have those up by the end of 2024 in preparation for the library's reveal, which will be, I believe, in 2025.
Wow. That's really, really amazing. When it comes to Charlotte, what type of art do you want to create for the city's future?
I love that. That's a great question. So I define myself as a colorful soul. I also do a lot of pieces in black and white because I feel like black and white and given that contrast can evoke a lot of emotion. So planning for the cityscape that I would like to see in Charlotte specifically, I would just love to see vibrant works that really speaks to community and evokes emotion, but not only evokes emotion, it really helps gives an identity to Charlotte.
What type of art, Ms. Tyree, have you created so far that actually have given you your identity?
Oh man, a lot of cultural pieces. I believe that we are spirits of the universe. So I love to create art that not only reflects me, but reflects my experience in this world and outside of this world. God has given me this ability. So in every breath and every word that I say, I always have to thank him. But I also like to express that through every paint stroke. I've had really, really long nights where I'm like, oh my God, I have to get this project done. But I have to reflect, and I always have to thank God for giving me the opportunity to do what I love.
Absolutely. Besides your art, and when you look at art from obviously from a 10,000 feet, Ms. Tyree, what particular art actually reflects you?
So again, I love me some color. I love me color, and I love black and white. One of the things that I put at the forefront whenever I paint is that not everybody experiences color the same, right? Females tend to see more colors than males. I don't know if you know that, but we're kind of awesome. But there are males that see more colors than females, meaning we all see on different spectrums. Your interpretation of green is not the same as my interpretation of green, right? So with that being said, I also like to speak to those who are colorblind, and I do that through creating high contrast works. So if I do have a piece and it has a lot of color, I generally make sure I have a light color next to a dark color. So therefore, if you're experiencing color a different way, you can still feel the emotion behind it.
What color brings out your emotions?
My favorite color is sapphire. There's something about sapphire and emerald and just honestly anything shiny. If you know anything about me, my wardrobe is full of glitter and gold. I love shiny things. So, generally colors that reflect light.
What do you want to add to your art wardrobe?
My art wardrobe, lots more paint. I want more paint on my clothes. You
Mm.
know, I love me a good shirt. Especially like when I go like to Walmart to run errands. I think it's really cute, like just to go out and like me and my self expression. I also like to add more personal pieces. As you know, like I create apparel. I'm currently working with Johnson C. Smith
Oh,
and Davidson College, creating for their SDLI Smith Davidson Leadership Initiative, and I'm creating some really cool apparel pieces. If you'd like to check those out, they're on my website, JanevaTyree.com, under apparel. I also create artwork based on like the experience. I have some Mother's Day pieces coming out.
good.
So I would love to incorporate more art that I've designed in my wardrobe for sure.
Wow. So, and by the way, I love Johnson C. Smith University. I visited there in 2022 when I was sent there for work. Amazing university.
Amazing.
Yeah. When it comes to apparel, Miss Tyree, what else are you looking at trend wise?
That's an excellent question. I have friends who are in fashion, and one of the key things about fashion is to follow the trends, right? Because that's generally where you make money. That's where you get like your target audience. So I really have a balance between following the trends and following myself. And a lot of times, like I just follow my soul and it resonates with people. However, I do understand, like, for instance, if, you know, Jordans are a huge fad, if, like, there's a new Jordan coming out, like, a really cool color wave, I think it would be really dope, like, to have people have a piece that also pairs with things that they already have.
So, what is that balance with your target audience?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So it really depends. Again, like, the recent apparel design that I've been working on with the SDLI, it has a lot of me in it. Also, like if you see James Baldwin,
Yes.
I did this painting to actually put on the apparel. So there's like that balance of always incorporating me and traditional art in my work. I think that that's a really signature move.
What is the state of traditional art from your standpoint?
You know, traditional is traditional, right? It's the foundation. So I love graphic design. I will not say that I could say that like I'll even say like 5 years ago. It's something that I did that I wasn't like super confident in. Over the years though, I've gotten more and more into it, and I think it's really, really cool how you can just change a whole landscape of perception, and you just have access to more. For instance, that paint may not offer.
Right.
So my aspect traditional is I think it's a beautiful foundation. And one of my goals is always to merge kind of the old with the new. So, you know, like maybe traditional techniques with emerging AI technology, you know, always making it inventive, making it fresh, keeping up with the times. But, you know, sprinkling some of that foundation in there.
And from the time that you started art, Miss Tyree, to right now, what is the biggest difference about traditional art? I know that's a redundant question there.
You know, I think the way that it's being utilized. For instance, you'll have a painting, right, that's now done by a machine. So it's a traditional medium, but it's now modernized in technique in the way that we can perform it. And I don't knock it. I think it's really cool to express art however you can and whatever you have tools to access to. Another thing that's changed is the amount of art that we see. Because of social media, I believe that we're now more and more inspired because a lot of artists are posting their stuff. You know, it's no longer kind of just tucked away in your closet for 15 years and maybe like 10, 20, 200 people have access to it. Now you can gain access of millions and millions of inspiration.
What art forms do you want to help transform your art with next?
That's a good question. So I personally believe that community engagement is an art form. And my goal is to not only inspire the community, but be inspired by the community. One of the really cool things that I'm currently working on is I wrote a grant to the ASC for the Juneteenth Art Fest, and it got approved.
Good.
So working with the University City Partners and the Arts and Science Council in Charlotte, we are now bringing a whole art fest, a whole Juneteenth Art Fest culture experience. And I believe that that is going to be one of the shining moments of 2024 that will breed more shining moments.
What are your shining moments in 2024 when you look at your art?
So I would say, again, curating programming, especially because things like the Art Fest, one of the things that I really fought for and I wanted to advocate for, because, I used to teach at not only an Ivy school that was very prominent in Charlotte, I also taught at a Title I school that didn't have access to as much resources. And I can just see the difference, the way quality art and just really transcended through the students and how it changed their lives and their perspectives. But I also understood the disparities that not everybody has the same thing. So let's say you want to do an art class, but it's $50. Well, maybe you can't go. So one of my goals was to make art free and accessible. So with the Juneteenth Art Fest, you can paint along with me, creating African American diasporic themed painting, and everything is completely free. The painting, the canvases. Not only that, we're going to have performers, we're going to have vendors, and the performers are going to get paid, right? So this is one of our chances to reach out to the community and really pour into what's already here.
And you talk about what's already here. You have obviously those resources to transform your art. But what are the disparities when it comes to art?
That's a good question. I also taught in private schools where students pay to have quality art classes, and we had an amazing, amazing, amazing time. However, not everybody has access to those classes. So I'm also working with the library now to implement free classes for the public, especially for shining students.
Wow. What art has changed your life thus far?
Man, I love art. I like being around artists. I like artist talk. I like looking at art, like especially old art. And I say this all the time. I'm not going to say like how popular this opinion would be, but it's like my soul and how I feel. One of my favorite artists ever is Wasley Kandinsky. And he is known as the father of abstract art. And the thing that's really cool about his art is it was against what they were supposed to do at the time. And so the Nazis burnt down his artwork, and it didn't stop him from creating it. And I feel like that is soul work when nobody can stop you, like not even the thought of being killed or everything being destroyed. And I just really love the way that he adapted sounds and applied color. And I love the way that when you look at his artwork, you can see that the shapes, the colors, the textures, the patterns, they tell a story, right? There's not a representational figure there, but you can feel it, you can see it, you can experience how he felt in that moment. I just think that is artwork that's so powerful.
With your art that you have out there now, Ms. Tyree, what type of resources do you have to actually adapt sound to your art projects?
That's really cool. So I would say all of my pieces are influenced by some kind of sound. And again, it's one of those things like when I meditate, I try to hear sounds that you don't hear, right? So that's even an influence, hearing sounds that you can't hear, seeing things that you can't see, because the universe is so much bigger than our vision, right? We create the world that we live in. And it could even be just listening to an R&B song and I get inspired, and you'll see that in my paint strokes and the colors that I use, kind of the aura that the art represents.
Oh, wow. What type of art do you want to create next to describe your future?
So my next, and this is a Quintin exclusive. Like nobody knows this except for one other person, and because I don't like telling people what I'm doing and what I'm working on.
Right.
It's just one of those things. But I want to delve into, I am delving into the world of abstract. I personally love abstract art.
Right.
I tend to use abstract backgrounds and I put realism on that, but I want to break away that realistic aspect and just work completely through just the abstract movement, having people kind of delve into my soul without that figure. So I think abstract is a really powerful form, and my newest portfolio development is going to be in abstract art.
What other arts of yours that have allowed you to delve into your soul based on the resource that you have?
All of my art. Even when I get, let's say that I have to do a corporate presentation for graphic design, you're going to see Janeva sprinkled in there. It's hard to get away from me. And as an artist, one of the biggest.
Yes, ma'am.
So especially if I'm producing it.
Right. Absolutely. I lost you there for a second. But artist Janeva Tyree, it's always good seeing you. Hopefully I'll see you here in Charleston soon. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Sir, it is always a blessing and pleasure to see your face, to hear your voice. Thank you for having me.
Oh, likewise. I appreciate it greatly.